Hello. We can classify lasers based on the type of active medium. If the active medium in the laser is solid, then they are called a solid state laser. If the active medium is gases, then they are called such types of lasers are called gas lasers. Okay, if the active medium is semiconductor diode, then such lasers are called semiconductor lasers. So the active based on this active medium, we can classify lasers into different categories. So the first one is solid state laser. Example is ruby laser, Nd:YAG laser, titanium sapphire laser, etc. Similarly, the next type of laser is gas laser. Okay, gas laser example: helium neon laser, carbon dioxide laser, argon laser. So these are the different types of gas lasers. Then third one is semiconductor laser. So in semiconductor laser, diodes are used or diode laser. In this video, I would like to talk about ruby laser. Ruby laser was the first laser constructed. Okay, so this was developed by or this was constructed by Mayman in 1960. Okay, so this was the first laser. The active medium in the ruby laser is the aluminum oxide doped with chromium ions. Aluminum oxide, chromium ions. Okay, so this was the active medium used in this ruby laser. So the chromium concentration was about 0.05 percentage. Okay. So now let us discuss the construction. The ruby laser consists of a single crystal of ruby which is placed inside a xenon flash lamp. The flash lamp is of helical shape and this ruby crystal is kept in the axis of the flash lamp. The flash lamp is connected to a capacitor and this is connected to a high voltage source. Okay, so this is the construction of ruby laser, simple construction of ruby laser. Here it is. The ruby laser consists of a single crystal of ruby or ruby rod whose ends are flat. Or ruby rod in the form of a rod whose ends are flat. One end is completely silvered for 100% reflection. Okay. And other end is partially silvered. Okay. 99% reflection. This forms a resonant cavity. Ruby consists of aluminum oxide doped with a chromium ion, Cr chromium 3 plus ions. About 0.05 percentage of chromium is doped in the aluminum oxide. So this is the active medium used in this laser. This is the schematic of a ruby laser. This is the ruby crystal, a single crystal, or this is the ruby rod. This is a flash lamp. Flash lamp. Flash lamp means a strong source of light, and it was connected to a high voltage, and a capacitance is connected parallel to it. Here the two ends of the ruby rod is polished or silvered to make to convert into a mirror, so that the radiation inside, the photons inside, will be traveling back and forth. Okay. One end of the mirror is partially silvered, so that the laser output can be taken out of the laser through that end. So this is why it is called partially silvered end is called output coupler. This is the construction of a ruby laser. Now we can talk about the working of ruby laser. First, let us talk about the energy level diagram of chromium ion. So this is the ground state, ground level, lowest energy level, and there are two bands of, this is band energy band E1, and this is another energy level. This also a band of energy E2. Okay, this is the increasing order of energy. In this axis, energy is kept. There are other levels. So this is another level, intermediate level. So this is a metastable state. Okay. The flash lamp is connected to the capacitor, and this high voltage source, 10 kilovolt. Okay, about 10 kilovolt is supplied here. Due to this discharge of this capacitor, this flash lamp glows and it irradiates the rod. Okay. So a large power is created because of this arrangement. So therefore, a part of this energy is absorbed by the chromium ions in the rod. Okay. So this is a strong light source. So from this light source, a part of energy is absorbed by the chromium ions in the rod. Therefore, the chromium ions excited from the ground state to the level E1, sorry, the band E1 or the band E2. Okay, by absorbing energy from the flash lamp. This wavelength corresponds to 6600 angstrom, and this wavelength absorb energy, and this energy corresponds to a wavelength of 4000 angstrom. Okay, so this is a near red light, this is blue light. Okay, now large number of atoms are in the band E1 and E2. The lifetime of these bands, these energy levels E1 and E2 are about is about 1 nanosecond. Therefore, it makes a non-radiative transition from the excited state to the metastable state M. Okay, so this makes a non-radiative transition to the metastable state M, which has a long lifetime. Okay, so it has 10 raised to minus 6 to 10 raised to minus 3 seconds. Okay, microseconds to millisecond, which is about 1000 to 1 million times that of the lifetime of this thing. Okay, it leads to, therefore it leads to a state of population inversion between the metastable state M and ground state G. Okay, so the population inversion occur. Population inversion occur between the metastable state M and ground state G. Okay. The transition between the metastable state M and ground state corresponds to a wavelength of wavelength of 6943 angstrom unit. Okay, so the transition is between metastable state M and ground state G. So in the metastable state, because of the long lifetime, there are large number of atoms. So therefore, there is a population inversion. We know when population inversion occurs between two states. So we have already discussed what is population inversion and stimulated emission. So here the transition between M and G, level M and G. Here this is metastable state. Here there are large number of atoms, and here less number of atoms compared to this M. So there will be there are two kinds of transition occur, or two kinds of emissions are possible. One is spontaneous emission. Spontaneous emission means the chromium ions de-excited by emitting a photon of energy h nu. Okay, and this photon causes other ions to get de-excited. Therefore further photons are released, or further photons are emitted by stimulated emission, by stimulated emission. So the stimulated emission is initiated by a spontaneously emitted photon. Spontaneous emission കൊണ്ടുണ്ടായ ഫോട്ടോൺ ആണ് പിന്നെ സ്റ്റിമുലേറ്റഡ് എമിഷൻ ക്രിയേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. സ്റ്റിമുലേറ്റഡ് എമിഷൻ ഉണ്ടാകുന്ന ഫോട്ടോണും ആ രണ്ട് ഫോട്ടോൺ, അപ്പോൾ ഒരു സ്റ്റിമുലേറ്റഡ് എമിഷൻ ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ രണ്ട് ഫോട്ടോൺ റിലീസ് ചെയ്യും. Therefore two photons are released by stimulated emission. These two photons have same frequency, same phase, same direction, same polarization, etc. Okay, therefore we get two coherent photons. Similarly, these photons again, അങ്ങനെ സ്റ്റിമുലേറ്റഡ് എമിഷൻ വഴി ഉണ്ടാകുന്ന ഫോട്ടോൺസ് വീണ്ടും സ്റ്റിമുലേറ്റഡ് എമിഷൻ ക്രിയേറ്റ് ചെയ്യും. അപ്പോൾ ലാർജ് നമ്പർ ഓഫ് ഫോട്ടോൺസ് വിൽ ബി എമിറ്റഡ് ഫ്രം ദി ആക്റ്റീവ് മീഡിയം. അപ്പോൾ ആക്റ്റീവ് മീഡിയത്തിൽ നിന്ന് ലാർജ് നമ്പർ ഓഫ് ഫോട്ടോൺസ് എങ്ങനെ വരും? സ്റ്റിമുലേറ്റഡ് എമിഷൻ വഴി ക്രിയേറ്റ് ചെയ്യും. ഈ സ്റ്റിമുലേറ്റഡ് എമിഷൻ ഇനീഷ്യേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നത് സ്പോണ്ടേനിയസ്ലി എമിറ്റഡ് ഫോട്ടോണാണ്. അപ്പോൾ ആദ്യം ഒരു ചാൻസ് ഫോട്ടോൺ എന്നൊക്കെ വേണമെങ്കിൽ പറയാം. ആ ചാൻസ് ഫോട്ടോൺ എന്ത് ചെയ്യുന്നു? സ്റ്റിമുലേറ്റഡ് എമിഷൻ ആയിട്ട് ഉണ്ടാകുന്നു. അത് സ്റ്റിമുലേറ്റഡ് എമിഷൻ ഇനീഷ്യേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നു. പിന്നെ ഉണ്ടാകുന്ന സ്റ്റിമുലേറ്റഡ് എമിഷൻ വഴി ഉണ്ടാകുന്ന ഫോട്ടോൺസ് again further and further photons are released. All these photons will have same frequency or wavelength, then phase. Okay, so we get a coherent beam of light. So this is called laser. ഇതിനാണ് നമ്മൾ ലേസർ എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. അപ്പോൾ യൂണി ഡയറക്ഷണൽ ബീം ആയിരിക്കും ഉണ്ടാവുക. അപ്പോൾ ഒരു റൂബി ലേസർ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഏത് ലേസർ എന്താണ് കറന്റ് സോഴ്സ് ആണുള്ള കാരണം എന്താണ്? സ്റ്റിമുലേറ്റഡ് എമിഷനാണ്. The wavelength of the ruby laser is this is the transition. So therefore the wavelength of all these photons, so therefore the wavelength of the laser is 6943 angstrom unit, or 694.3 nanometer. Okay, this is a red light. Okay, so a red beam of light is obtained. So ruby laser is a solid state laser. Here the energy levels are bands. Okay, not sharp energy level. In solids there are bands of energy, but in gas lasers the energy levels are very sharp. Okay, now the population inversion occur between the metastable state M and the ground level G, which corresponds to a wavelength of 694.3 nanometer. Okay, so this is about the ruby laser. We will discuss the helium neon laser in the next class.